we're going to talk about the course details now for Management 125, organizational behavior. So with that, here's the description. It's in the catalog. This course explores the application of behavioral theory to management practices in order to help students. I'm not going to read this to you. You can read. You've already known about this course when you register, hopefully. I'll leave the description over here because typically what I do is I'll post different aspects, like especially here, the PowerPoint slides from this class. I'm going to post them on Canvas underneath modules in week 1. So you'll see this over there. So typically I have the whole aspect and loaded up things in modules, and I'll also include the PowerPoints. Discussions explore organizational behavior in a variety of business environments, including businesses of different size, small, medium, large, and different stages of development and different aspects of it. Here are some of the things we're going to learn. First of all, we'll talk about org behavior, what it is, compare individual and organizational needs. We're going to spend some time on that because part of it is you have to have an understanding of yourself and then understand other people to understand how the whole thing works together. Talk about 4 pitfalls of the effective decision-making, not decision-making, but effective decision-making, and what happens when you break down communication barriers. Frankly, good communication is essential in every organization. We'll talk about how to resolve conflict. We'll talk about ethical concerns and how it's top-down, actually instead of bottom-up, and explain about why we have organizational structures and how some of them work better than others for different situations. We'll talk about factors that talk about group attractiveness and how to keep things glued together, so to speak, in the organization. Talk about stress, multicultural issues, and differentiate between prejudice and discrimination and what that really means. A couple of things you have to have. One of them, you must have Connect. But of course, you're on Connect already. That's how you're watching this whole thing right here. The other one is get the textbook. It's a McGraw-Hill textbook. And also, you want to make certain that you have Connect. You must have Connect to complete your homework. If you don't have Connect, you will not be able to do your homework. Get Connect. So Connect acts as a textbook that's required. I recommend you always getting the textbook always from the IVC bookstore. Here's a picture of the book, the 5th edition. You can get by with the 4th edition just as well, but pick up that textbook and make certain that you get Connect with it. Now, with that, at the bookstore, they have a card in the back of it that has the code to get your Connect. That's the only reason I push the bookstore. If you get it, just buy the book online from somebody, they may send you the book, but if you don't have the Connect access, you're not going to be able to complete the homework. So get the textbook, get Connect access, and get ready for a nice, fast-paced course. A couple things over here. I do a lot of announcements on Canvas. I'll talk about the format for this class because this is called a podcast cast, with something that I created to help make certain I ensure good constant contact with you. When you send me an email, okay, I'm teaching a large number of courses. I do every semester. Send me an email if you have any difficulties or any questions you may have, but make certain I know who you are and what class. This is organizational behavior. It's Management 125. Put that in the body. Don't let me sit down there and flounder trying to figure out who you are, because my responsibility, what class are you in? And that just delays everything. Never submit your assignments by email. Put them all in Canvas. And above all things, you'll find this about org behavior is keep it brief. That's how you have good communication, one of the first steps for that. Now, this is a 3-credit-hour class. All colleges make the assumption that for every hour that you have for the class, in this case, it's a 3-credit-hour class, have 2 hours set aside to read the materials and do homework. That means 3 credit hours. You need to set aside 9 hours every single week for this one class. You can do it different aspects of it, but I really need you to sit down there and plan on doing that. I don't think this will take a whole 9 hours, but I'd rather you plan for more hours to be successful than less. Active participation is expected. Think about your brain functioning and what the best time is for that. And you really want to structure your day about your homework as to how best you think. We call that really the biometrics of your body as to when you learn best. I learn best in the morning. Some people learn better in the afternoon. Some people are night owls and learn best at night. So it just depends where you're at. Make certain you plan on being successful. Canvas, it's a big deal. online usage. You're going to find all your lessons there. I told you earlier, I structured this class by modules. So each week, you'll see the week and the dates of the week, and then all the different assignments for that week. You'll have tests. There's 4 tests in this class. They open up on a Tuesday at 4 o'clock and they close Friday on 11:59. And you have that time period to take a test. Make certain when you take the test that if you start the test, you don't take a break. The test keeps on going, and there's no second chances once you start that test. Purchase the textbook and Connect Access. Here is a Connect support number in case something goes awry. If something doesn't work on your homework assignment and you send me an email, my response is going to be, did you contact Connect about this issue? So contact Connect first before you come to me with it. They're better. Now, write this down. Get your phone out now. I recommend it right now. Get your phone and take a picture of the screen. Irvine Valley College has a great IT department. We have a Canvas support number. You see it right over here. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6. If something is wrong on Canvas, call them. If something is wrong with Connect, call this number over here. This is going to help you be successful. Just take a picture, get it in your phone, and that'll help save you time in case there's a crisis. You don't have a meltdown that somebody's there to help you. Once you deal with that, if it's still a problem, you let me know, and we'll work with that. So let me tell you about this whole thing called a pod class. It's not a podcast, it's a pod class. What I've done is I take each week, I go through the PowerPoints and the topics we have for that week. I break it up into pieces. Then I record a brief class like this. The classes are usually 7 to 12 minutes long, and then I launch them. Now, if there's 5 classes, let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's 5 days in the school week. So with that, if there's 5 different assignments, you're going to get an announcement on your phone at 7 o'clock. Ding, 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 5 days. Okay, if there's 6 or 7 different lessons, and that happens sometimes, some of the chapters, you'll get a 7 a.m. announcement and you'll get a 3 p.m. announcement. It'll have that. Or you can just go into the module and watch them one after the other. That way, I'm breaking it up so you can have good learnable segments of it, get a dose of it every single day, and see where you're at. And if you have any questions, you can go back and rewatch it. Here's our graded activities list that we have. We have 14 chapter assignments. We have 8 applications. I have 3 discussion boards. Make certain when you do a discussion board, talk about the topic, you post it first, and respond to two classmates as you go through. Okay, and then you have 1 critical thinking activity. I think it's a really good one. I think you'll enjoy looking at it. 4 tests, I dropped the lowest score. So only 3 test counts, and then we have a celebration of learning. Well, yeah, it's a final, but I like to call it something different because it is a celebration about the end of the course. All right, so anyway, we have that coming up. Some of the due dates, you can always go down on the left-hand side of Canvas, you'll see we have syllabus. Okay, so in that syllabus, you'll have the actual syllabus of the class that I have, but also the really cool thing about that is that syllabus in Canvas, it takes all the due dates and it puts all your assignments down a column on syllabus by the due date. It really is very handy to doing that. So you can have, I have the syllabus in the introduction section, I have syllabus on the left-hand side of Canvas, and also you'll see the course laid out in the modules. I really try to keep it 3 different ways for you to sit there and have access to it. That really communicates the nature of the assignments. Make certain you submit your assignments through Canvas. Now, here's a secret for those of you that are watching this, which is you. Okay, late homework assignments, I will give you 4 due date extensions. Now, by the way, this is not in writing. I'm just telling you, for those of you that are paying attention, you get an extra bonus over those that don't. So you get 4 extensions with no penalty on them whatsoever. I track them in a spreadsheet, so you only get 4, and after that, you get a reduction of the points overall. You're always better off to submit something late or partial than not submit it at all. It's called the power of 0. And figure it out. 4 tests at 100 points each. Okay, if you only do 3 of them, okay, and skip one altogether, 300 divided by 4 gives you a C. If you do 4 tests, you do 3 of them get 100% and the fourth one 50%, then if you average it all out at 350, your grade's going to be a B. Never sit down and not submit anything. It is the kiss of death to your grade. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Now, by the way, make certain you do your own work. Don't have somebody take it for you. Don't have somebody write your paper for you. You'll get an F on it. And besides that, it really is kind of dumb. You're here to learn, not to pass off your stuff onto somebody else. If you have a problem with your quiz or your test, if you have some kind of family emergency, I will assist you and work around that. My goal is for you to graduate out of this class with a good, solid grade for your future. And by the way, there's 2 things I want to deliver in each class. One of them is the academic knowledge about organizational behavior. The other part is I'm going to always try to provide you at least once every week, if not every single day. I'm going to try to provide you a deliverable, is what I call it, something you can use after the class is over with for you to be successful in your career pathway. That's important to me. So if you're not in class the first week, I'm going to drop you. I don't need to sit down and have the dead weight of somebody not participating. So make certain you're watching this entire week. Do the assignments that first week, because I watched that right away. And if I don't see any activity, I will ask you what's going on. And if I don't get a response, then we drop you from the class. So avoid getting an F when it comes down to looking at what's going on with the class. You don't want to have an F on your card. So make certain you do the assignments. Now, let me be pretty straight up with you. The world sometimes stumbles into our lives and damages our academic career. When that happens, plan on being a good student. Let me know. I will try to help you. If we can't find a way to do that, you're better off dropping the course than getting an F. You don't want to have the F on your record if you can avoid that. But if you don't do the work, you won't get anything but an F. So make sure you do that. No plagiarism. Make certain that the words are your own. If you have a paper to write in this course, in that paper, give people credit for it. You know, somebody from the Wall Street Journal sat down and said this on August 19th, 2022. It makes you look really good. So plagiarism, I think, is just dumb because you miss an opportunity to give credits to somebody else, which really makes you look even smarter than you already are. It's a real positive link. So make sure you're honest. Here's the code of conduct. I'm going to expect you to have an idea what this is. It's not the first time you saw it. You probably saw it multiple times. I'm putting it over here. But overall, I want you to have a great class, something that you'll treasure in the moment of learning, but also long-term to help you become that successful person that I'd like to see you be, and I'm certain you do as well. Take care.